Guys, I hope you're enjoying this week's trunk stabilization and ab theme. You know, I was just reading an article by a jump expert whose number one exercise in helping improve your vertical jump was a sit-up. Now somebody explained to me how a sit-up and jumping go together. Let's look at it for just a second. First of all, a sit-up is done on your butt. Jumping, done on your feet. That doesn't make sense. Number two, jumping or sit-up is a curling exercise. Makes your trunk have to curl up into a flexed position. Jumping is fully going into extension and explosion. That doesn't make sense. Lastly, the trunk and jumping is done primarily with lower chain, calves, hips, and so forth. Your trunk simply functions as a stabilizer for those muscles to grab a hold of. Sit-ups, on your butt is turned off. Your trunk is being isolated, primarily upper abdominals. Jumping, butt needs to be turned on. Lower abdominals need to stabilize because that's what locks in my pelvis to allow my hamstrings and my glute and my powerful muscles to activate and contract and explode me to the rim. So someone please tell me how that becomes a key exercise for jumping. All right. Let me show you a couple of exercises that maybe help you with jumping. Matter of fact, when you look at athletes and you look at the most well-developed trunks, who has the most well-developed trunks? Exactly, sprinters. Sprinters and basketball players have well-developed trunks. Why? Because they're exploding. They're using their entire body to go ahead and work. All right, let me take you through a little bit of a trunk exercise workout that maybe can help you a little bit in getting your trunk to activate. The number one thing when you look at jumping is the ability for you to explode through your hips and not get this force leak through your lumbar spine. No problem. Let's take a band. Let's take it over here. Let's hook it up to our shoulders like so. And let's work at simply exploding right there. My trunk has got to activate. If it doesn't, I go into an arched position. So what we call airless jumps. Explode. Just like that. Excellent jump. You want to put dumbbells in your hands? Put weights in your hands? Fine. That's perfectly okay. Now, let's take it another step further. Let's go ahead and leave the ground. And then I got to get right back and stick. Not only does that teach me how to stabilize going into the ground, but it teaches me as I'm coming up, I've got to really engage my trunk. So it's here. Oh, I'm telling you, that is a rocking trunk exercise. Now, let's take it one other step. The trunk is a three-dimensional muscle. It works in all planes of motion. Let's make sure you train all planes of motion. If only I train sagittal, I'm going to lose the ability for my hips to stabilize. How many times do I got to jump in a more diagonal movement pattern? No problem. Let's go on up. Let's put it up here, and let's go ahead and do some simple lateral hops or vertical hops. The key is the band is making my trunk react. It's keeping my center of gravity over my base of support, and that's the role of your trunk. Simple little exercises, tons more to go ahead and work on. Remember, you can also go ahead and use a band for squat jumps and things of this nature. You can always have your hands free, so you can go ahead, add things in your hands. Simple exercises that make the trunk start doing what it's supposed to in jumping. Not sit-ups, folks. Trunk activation.